Peterbot and his trio have won 12 Div Cups in a row, win after win after win, but today they set a new standard. These guys really broke the world record by getting 25, 24 and 22 bomb games, and they even tweeted mid-tourney saying it was over. I'm not even trying to glaze, but that's just pure aura. Peterbot lands on this small house next to the train, quickly getting as much loot as possible, whilst Cold lands at the train blowing it up with thermites. Pete obviously gets priority to the mythic shotgun as the best player, but pause here. How the hell do the best fighters in the region have this kind of loot off drop? It's like you're asking to get cooked. They leave Crime City and your boy Playboy Carti is in the air getting absolutely beamed. That brother dropped 5 years too late. Actually, you know what, if he dropped earlier, he would have faced Prime Infantry Mongrel, so he was cooked anyway. Peterbot sees some guy called Zip and cracks him. I mean, come on bro, what kind of name is this? No one uses that BTEC 7 Zip anyway, we all use Winmar. He chases ass with the Frozone gloves and easily downs him with the gold hollow. Cold is on a hill and what the fuck is this AR aim bro? It melted this whole team. Ritual is near the water what's going on here as well? My guy Seti is really hiding behind a wall. He really thinks we can't see him because he's hiding from Peterbot. Ritual easily downs him and Peterbot wastes no time trying to get to his teammate Kami. He goes into the basement and he really thinks he can hide behind these boxes.
Run.
1 second later he gives up trying to run, but Pete is on his case firing a massive 120 pump, with Kami still trying to escape. He nearly got through the toilet but it was 1 second too late because of the Frozone gloves. Peterbot returns back to his old builds and goes for launchpad. That looks pretty normal, right? To go to the next zone. Nope, this guy's like an absolute sicko. He's willing to go into Storm to find any more unsuspecting victims rotating in, but unluckily there were none. He finally decides to go into zone and find another trio boxed up. Cold as always getting a triple tag until Peterbot found their direct competition. What in the hell is going on here? This looks like some sus build I saw earlier from the number 2 trio. I'm not gonna lie, the design of the cones is looking hard though. Acorn tries to get some AR tags, but little did he know the main threat Peterbot was right below, and he was acting like Prime Ninja chopping out these builds. Acorn realizes this, so he drops down trying to save the portal fort, but Peterbot just keeps breaking it, cause realistically, what is Acorn gonna do to him in a 1v1? I mean, you can see here, it's just him on his own at the bottom, and Poyo and Aegis are just chilling at the top. So Acorn finally tries to box fight. Ritual as a support player throws a pulse scanner so Pete W keys him, and meanwhile we got a 2-man third party trying to beam them on height. Poyo whips out the drum gun, accidentally drops Aegis and finally had enough, so he tries to 1v1 W key Cold in a bush. That was a big mistake because his ex Peterbot legs it trying to fight. Cold goes for a right hand peek and is about to be fight at the tournament. Number 1 versus number 2, who was gonna grief who, until the most anticlimactic thing happened, for Pete's team to run away into the black market and stock up on heals instead. I'm not gonna lie, I feel robbed from that moment. They leave the vault, get some surge tags and actually fly up to these islands to fight the boss for the mythic hollow AR. Pete finds a bat in the chest, but I'm surprised he actually prefers the gloves to it for some reason. He finds a solo boxed up and you know he ain't letting that opportunity go. Flying towards him instantly, this guy's just hiding, gets trapped and 1 pump edited. Hold on, we need to reload that to see, cause there's no way this guy was that much of a bot. Alright, he's trying to pop minis, but why would you just sit there in the open like that? My guy even has 1k mats, so that's not even an excuse. The zone pulls far, so they start rotating with the bat and gloves, and then get the worst luck again for a far circle. They box up at the edge with 2k storm surge, and they still go for AR shots in front of them. They get to the bridge tagging people. I'm not gonna lie, this bridge reminds me of something. I can't quite name it. They see Clix's trio already boxed up, so they box up in metal next to them, and Cold's back at it again, beating the shit out of this poor trio getting inside. And you know what happens when one team shoots. The sheep follow and they get lobby focused and die. Peterbot picks off the last member, seeing he has the exotic chug jug, so he grabs that. Somehow Ritual gets down so they heal up. Cold is looking down for some edits, finds a completely unaware team and they use the double sentinel pump to break through the builds and down one. That's reloaded from the POV, so they're on low ground just chilling boxed up. Holy shit, you can't even react to that, he died so fast. They drop down for the kill, my guy doesn't even try, I can't even blame him. They begin moving to the far zone, but teams are AR spraying, so they gotta use up some mats turtling. The current state is Acorn's team in the corner, Edgy on ultimate height, Clicks' trio close to them, Booger in the middle, and our boys are stranded in the water trying to get in. Pete tries to move without building and gets fully beamed from height, but it might have been worth it because he has the exotic chug jug that literally recharges back to 400 anyway. They see some teams fighting below using med mist, and I don't know how the fuck you can see someone here to shoot. It must have just been shoot and test your luck. They down him and try and get the finish, but there's too many builds in the way. They hear a trio directly above them and go for a play, dropping them. And shit, Pete got snaked last minute dying in that box. Look at Cold and Ritual, these two just didn't back the beef and let him die. But luckily Cold downs one of them. Ritual, I don't even know what he was doing in this, but both teams are smart enough to go for the double res. Somehow they have a shield bubble and Pete can go back to full with the chug jug. He cancels it mid heal to get an easy AR kill, and they go for the classic low mat turtling strat until they find Aegis getting a big 100 pump. He tries to run away, but they put constant pressure with the AR to kill him. Ritual during all of this somehow gets into a 1v2, downs one of them, but let's reload him. He's with Cold and he pushed too early and dies, but Cold avenges him with the kill. There's not enough time for the res, so it's Cold and Peterbot against the wall to win the game. They're stuck on low ground and have to move up for the circle, and this is some of the luckiest shit I've seen. They basically get a free supply drop to them for no reason. Pete leads the movement up, and just to see, Edgy is once again on ultimate height, Clicks is hella far into Storm, and most trios are still stuck below the mountain. They go one level lower, find a solo and instantly key him, sliding that cone in and easily ARing him. Height is breaking their builds, so they slide down the mountain. Cold gets a guy to 1 HP, so they both push him and spray that guy to death. They slide down again, and what the fuck, how did Clicks die then? Hold on, let's get a reload. Okay, he used the bat.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
And oh my days, yo, he bounced off the cone twice and dies to full damage. Nah, that's peak as hell. They find another solo boxed up, and obviously they ain't gonna let that slide. So they jump in to kill him. That was hella risky though, because Pete took way too much damage in Storm ticks on 11 HP. Someone throws a shield bubble down. Higgs jumps in trying to get a kill, but Cold finesses this guy so hard with the movement. These two are still low as hell on health, and it's a 3v2 for the final fight. They might be cooked. Pete gets one pump window peaked when he dropped from height and goes for the edit play. Cole goes for the pump, but they die and they still secure second place. Game 2 starts with the OP loadout from last time in Crime City. They go up the mountain and Kami gets beamed in the air again. I mean, come on bro, at this point just put the fights in the bag, bro. POI. Cold finishes him off, and yo, what's this? His duo Seti is really hiding in a shed. The times have changed so quickly. Luckily for him, Cole doesn't notice, and Peterbot finds a team on the hill, ramp rushes up like it's prime 2018, and I don't know why this duo didn't even shoot him. For once he plays passive and boxes up as one guy is in a cone and the other is looking at the third on low ground. Peterbot notices this, jumps in with the bat to try and box him, and Ritual gets the perfect 2-man press to double tap with the mythic outlaw. Cold sees another guy jumping, gets a pump shot off, tries to phase in with the AR and kills him off. Peterbot then chases the last guy to the river, and this guy makes the worst edit possible. A left hand peek for him, he was just begging to die. He tries to get in his box while he runs away, and yo, don't do it bro. Oh my days, he actually bludgeoned this guy. We need a 1 minute silence for this moment. They fly up to a mountain finding a guy, and what is it with solos and duos just by themselves? Did they not get it's a trios cup final? Where's my guy even looking at? There's no one there and his teammates are gone. They chase him, but he launch pads away until Pete finds the trio and decides to rush them for a 1v3. Notice how he's still careful by boxing himself up fully from third parties and takes the walls directly in front of him. He uses the shotgun's high structure damage to try and edit replace, but misses it, and then tries to bait with a pickaxe, but the enemy pushed back. Pete's basically 2 layers in front of these guys on the ground, and their third is a rat chilling in the bush under the builds. Cold finally makes it to the fight whilst building, and how the fuck did this guy know he was there? That's either crazy reaction time or hacks to one pump in there. They finish him off and it's a 3v2, so the guy tries legging it, But what have we seen today? If Peterbot's trio chases you, there's a 0% chance you leave alive. This guy gets beamed by other teams and he still doesn't care to heal. He's just focused on that one kill. He gets into literally 5 HP, struggles to get through the window, and this guy just boxed himself in to die. Ritual did really well going underground and pinching from below to guarantee the kill. They then chase the last guy underground who actually tries to fight back with the AR, but Pete nearly catches up with the baseball bat until he teleports with the toilet. He takes the same toilet, which could be a risky move, but instantly ramps over, edits down, but this guy clutches it by going into the toilet again. This was a 200 IQ play because it doesn't teleport you back, so he's basically invincible in there. They go to loot up, but for some reason Fedoxy abandons the plan, getting out of the toilet early, going in the tunnels to get loot, but Cold and Ritual quickly find out. He tries to stall as much as possible with the metal builds in the pipe, and he's forced to go outside with the zipline into the bushes. He completely jukes Cold and Ritual hiding, whilst Peterbot is still sitting in the toilet. He's the type of guy to stay there all tournament if needed to get the kill. He finds out he left the tunnel and gets there quickly with the bat, and you just can't trick this guy. He finds him instantly next to the bush, one pumps him, and he's got to hit that emote because of how annoying this guy was. They box up looking for people rotating in, and Cold cracks the guy with Peterbot putting pressure. These guys are 1.4k damage above, and Cold is just too nasty with his burst, knocking that guy in Storm. The real play is having people run different ARs in your trio for different situations. They rotate inwards with the bat, blocking shots from height, and Cold once again beaming the people coming in. They switch focus to rapid, and Peterbot has an even faster collateral, spraying them, getting them to white. They put a pulse scanner down to check how many and where they are, constantly spraying their builds. That was enough for Pete to drop, notice the team was dipping, and these guys fully jumped rapid because his team left him on his ones to die. This brother gets delivered back into the box like Amazon Prime and looted up. But it wouldn't be fair for just one guy to die, right? Bolts really tried to hide under a cone, but they found his ass. Jackpo thought he was a big man, so he tried to shoot, but that's a literal death wish against this team. And last but not least, Bolts tries to flee up, but remember these guys got pulse scanners, so they go straight to his floor, drop him down, and an easy KO there. They use a classic gold splash and bat strat for movement to take height so easily, and these guys didn't even try to contest it, so they drop lower. So now it's the godly trio at height with everyone else spread out. Cold somehow notices Sphinx on for 1 split second and he gets the knock on him. But let's reload it to see how he was that low. Okay, so he's just trying to finish Poyo out in the open, gets a few tags on another team but builds back, and he goes to his own builds for protection. He tries to AR the same team but stops and goes right. Oh shit, your eyes hella unlucky, getting pumped and shot at the same time basically. Cold finishes him off and they jump down the bat to rotate. Sees another duo in the open, so they spray, and you know Peterbot at this point, he's thirsty for blood. He drops down and places a wall next to them. The enemy makes an edit, but Pete makes a nasty right hand peek edit and reset play. Cold ambushes them from the other side when he's low, getting his wall and insta pumping. Crazy reaction time to pump his teammate on low ground as well, but Peterbot goes behind to finish the duo off. He then uses edits on his cone to look through and see a trio in front of him, double pump an AR to break it and catch Kami fully off guard. My guy tries to go down and run away, but Cold is one step ahead to make him run into a wall and delete him. Besides, this guy got rebuild early anyway, he needs to go back to the lobby. From Peterbot's POV, he actually shot his teammate instead of Kami, which is a good play because he trusted Cold to deal with Kami on his own. Unfortunately, he managed to escape, but Peterbot struck gold when he finds the mythic drum gun, which is insanely good at short and medium range. On ultimate height, we've got Isho's trio on full HP, Aegis and Re on the mid ground, and then one layer above Pete's trio is Mars's trio. Like I said, Pete uses the drum gun scoped in on Rise, tries to catch Mars dropping down but he gets away. They quickly glance at height and go into their own builds to spray back. This drum gun is absolutely relentless and shreds everyone in front. Peterbot goes for the loot, heals with the chug jug and drops all the way to the far side of low ground. If we see the current setup, this trio is spraying in front, 2 trios in the middle, but who the hell is beaming from above? Yo, these guys are on crazy high ground with the islands to shoot down. Pete once again uses the drum gun and thermal scope to spray at the metal and shred their mats. they settle for ultimate low ground because no one else is on this layer, and he finds a nasty angle to peek and knock one guy. The drum gun keeps putting insane pressure on the duo, killing one more, cracking the last, and Ritual goes to the side to finish him off. Peterbot is really low, but he heals it back with the med mist and minis with more loot in Storm. Zone moves up the hill, so they start to top, but Cold notices fights behind, so he looks back, covering himself and gets a nasty 100 flick, boxes him inside and ARs him down. On height, it's still the same trio that were chilling on the islands, just spraying down against Peterbot, Cold, Ritual, and Kanada is alive as a solo next to him. Pete tries to fight Kanada, but he gets a good pre-fire, forcing him back, but he knows it's a solo, so he keeps spraying. Cold tries to box fight by baiting his pickaxe to the pre-fire, and Ritual expands to the right. These two follow her, and Ritual had this build, so he makes an easy edit to pick off Kanada. It's now the final 3v3 with the other trio on height against Peterbot, as they spray down at their builds, and Cold has no mats, so he tries to break them down and get some chip on one. He uses the bat to jump and mantle up layers and gets a shiesty 100 pump, letting Pete easily kill him from the back. Ritual looks up at height, forced to spray them down as one guy nearly gets a swing on him with the bat, but this guy literally becomes Spider-Man, jumping off the wall, knocking him down. Cold is next to him on low ground, having an AR hipfire fight and loses, but Ritual nearly kills him off until he places a wall and gets Cypher. Ritual is trying to flex with that bat kill, but Isho gets a nice pump on him. Pete was above this time and couldn't get an angle to shoot Isho, who's the last guy. He covers himself really well to kill Ritual and blocks Pete, leaving the final 1v1, but Peterbot has 100 mats, so Isho is forced to drop down to no mats as Peterbot heals. He drops to try and shoot, but he goes for the smart play to stay in circle and pop a chug jug. Isho realizes this and tries to use the bat to go above, but Pete gets a nice pump and ducks. Isho goes the other way as Pete drops and he gets the game deciding pump to win the game. A genuine masterclass there to win from low ground, and you can see why this trio dominates so hard in these tournaments.